You can get everything done and still miss yourself. What if being busy is giving you a feeling of security, but practically keeping you away from yourself? Think of your professional life. A full calendar can feel reassuring. A demanding job can feel secure. A growing income can feel financially secure. A busy workspace can make you feel connected. And when everyone around you is busy, you feel like you're part of the moment. Everyone is working, everyone is pursuing targets, everyone is getting promoted, everyone is building business, everyone is investing, everyone is planning the next step. And somewhere inside, an assumption can develop. I'm doing whatever everyone else is doing, so I must be moving in the right direction. But is that necessarily true? Being busy isn't wrong. Getting things done matters. In competitive world, productivity is essential. Businesses need execution, families need responsibility, career require commitment, ambitions require action. The question is much deeper. Can you get everything done and still miss yourself? Can your calendars be full while your connections with yourself becomes empty? Can you achieve the goals without ever consciously examining whether these goals are actually yours? And today, I explore this possibility because there is a simple metaphor that makes this incredibly clear. It is a story of a ship that never stops sailing. Imagine a ship with an extraordinary engine. It's fast, efficient, powerful. Its crew is highly capable. The navigation equipment is sophisticated. The ship can survive storm, can handle difficult water. Every day the crew is busy. The ship keeps moving, and everyone is watching from outside is impressed. There's one question nobody asked. Where is the ship going? The ship hasn't failed. It hasn't stopped. It is actually performing, I mean, extremely well. It simply doesn't have a consciously chosen destination. And that is where this metaphor becomes personal, because a life can look exactly like this. Professional cultures often create interesting associations. The busier you are, the more important you appear. The packed calendar can look like influence. Back-to-back meetings can look like leadership. Constant calls can look like responsibility. Working late can look like commitment. Having no time can even become asceticism. Gradually, a subtle equation forms. Busy equal to successful. And another one follows. Less busy equal to less successful. Eventually, the stillness can begin to feel less comfortable. A person finishes one task and immediately asks for another. One meeting ends, another begins. One project finishes, another appears. One target is achieved, another target replaces it. There's always something waiting. And because there's always something waiting, there is very little space to ask, what am I doing with all of this? Not because the activity is wrong, but the activity has become continuous. The ship keeps sailing, and because it keeps sailing, everyone assumes it must be getting smooth. But there is something even deeper behind busyness. Busyness can feel safe. A busy job can create a feeling of job security. A regular income can create financial security. Being surrounded by other busy professionals can create belonging. And belonging to a larger movement of society can create something deeper. a sense of life security. Look around. People are working, they are building homes, buying careers, pursuing promotions, investing. People are starting business. People are preparing for retirement. People are planning for their children's future. And when your life looks similar to the lives around you, there can be a reassuring feeling. I'm doing what everyone else is doing. And from there, another assumption quietly appears. Therefore, I must be going in the right direction. The similarity doesn't prove direction. Being part of a crowd can prove belonging, doesn't necessarily provide originality. Imagine hundreds of ships sailing together. Every ship is moving, every crew is working, every engine is running. Everyone feels safe because they're part of the fleet. Then one captain looks at the navigation system and discovers something uncomfortable. The fleet has a destination. This particular ship never consciously chose it. It doesn't make the fleet wrong. It simply raises a personal question. Where am I going? Movement and direction are not same. You can move very fast in the wrong direction. You can become extremely productive without becoming more connected to yourself. You can achieve one goal after another without even asking whether these goals represent your originality. So this is where awareness becomes relevant. Productivity asks, how much can I get done? Awareness asks, what is happening when I'm doing it? Productivity can measure revenue, target, project, meeting, deadlines, performance, efficiency. These measurements matter. They don't necessarily answer why I'm doing this. What am I experiencing? What is driving me? What am I looking? Is the direction actually mine? That last question is because the destination isn't necessarily more money. It isn't necessarily a bigger title, right? It isn't necessarily another promotion. The deeper destination is your originality. Imagine an executive for 20 years. He built an impressive company. He worked hard, he understood business, understood finance, he handled markets, he built relationships, he solved problems. He became known as someone who could always get things done. Eventually, he reached the position he had once dreamt of. His title was impressive, his income was impressive, his office was impressive, his network was impressive, and his calendar was extraordinary. From 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. was it. And tomorrow was already full. He wasn't failing, he was succeeding. He wasn't avoiding responsibility, he was carrying enormous responsibility. But one evening, something unusual happened. Meeting was cancelled. 1 hour suddenly became empty. No deadline, no call, no presentation, no crisis. Nothing that required immediate action. And in that empty hour, something looked invisible, not outside him, inside him. There was fatigue, there was a pressure, there was a constant need to perform. And underneath all of that was one single realization. He has become extremely successful at moving forward without consciously asking whether The direction belonged to him. The ship has become incredibly efficient, but the destination has never been examined. The cost of unconscious busyness isn't necessarily dramatic. It can be very subtle. A conversation becomes another item within a meeting. A meal becomes something to finish quickly. A weekend becomes preparation for Monday. A holiday becomes an opportunity to catch up. The rest becomes something that must be earned. Every success becomes another task. Gradually, life becomes something you manage rather than something you experience. Everything is optimized. Everything gets measured. Everything gets scheduled. Everything gets completed. Except perhaps the most important question: what is my experience of life and creating? This is where the title becomes real. You can get everything done and still be successful. Now, return to the ship. The answer isn't to turn off the engine. The ship still needs to move. The crew still has responsibility. The oceans still have waves. This difference to matters. The difference is that someone finally looks at the navigation system. The ship continues sailing, but now there is awareness of direction. This is what witnessing can bring into your daily life. You can be in meeting and witness. You can negotiate and witness. You can handle pressure and witness. You can respond to email and witness. You can be ambitious and witness. You can be extremely busy and still notice yourself with the busyness. You don't necessarily need fewer responsibility. You need awareness within your responsibility. Witnessing doesn't ask you to stop staring. It helps you notice where you're stealing from and where you're going. Something subtle can happen when witnessing becomes part of daily life. The meeting reminds, the deadline reminds, business is challenging. The response reminds. But your relationship with the experience begins to change. You notice pressure. You don't have to immediately become the pressure. You notice anger. You don't have to immediately become an anger. You notice urgency. You don't have to automatically obey every urgent thought. You notice the thought, this must happen now. And there is enough awareness to observe the thought before acting from it. That space can feel like freedom, not dramatic freedom, not escape, subtle freedom. And this freedom cannot simply be borrowed from someone else's explanation. Knowledge can reduce responsibilities. Knowledge can trigger curiosity. This can describe. Books can explain. Videos can point towards it. But experience belongs to you. Witnessing allows you to explain what is revealed. So today, just one ordinary activity, a meeting, a conversation, a commute, an email, a difficult decision. While doing it, don't try to change anything. Simply witness. Notice your body, notice your feelings, notice your thought, notice the awareness that can recognize all of them. Then continue. Keep doing what needs to be done. Bring awareness into doing because answer may not be becoming less busy. It may be becoming more aware while being busy. And remember, you can get everything done, but you don't forget to experience yourself while doing it. Until then, keep it busy.